Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marogold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm, as always, Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. We are late to recording today.
Yes.
Luckily, there's like nothing to talk about.
Well, there
So it
is.
should
We
be
just don't
fine.
have much to say for once.
Yeah, I mean, like
We have a
I'm
Stardom
sure,
pay-per-view, but I think both of us will just be like, yeah, this is happening. Cool.
I'm sure there's something to be said. Um,
Mm,
funnily
Maybe.
enough, me and Scott San of the of the 5 Star Joshi show, we had a several hour discussion about Stardom a few days ago off air. We were like, we probably should have like recorded that. I feel like
Yeah.
that would have been like good to really, because like neither of us have much to say about Stardom until we do.
Mm.
But also if we recorded, I feel like people would have gotten mad. So
Oh,
you
yeah, the
know,
best conversations are off the record.
exactly.
So that's where
Um,
everybody's very real.
because we
So.
had a deep discussion about like Stardom's current approach to storytelling. Um,
Oh.
and how their characters are like the status of each of their characters, and it kind of gave us some revelations about how we feel about the company right now. So that's nowhere, you can't find that, but that's off the record. Maybe I'll say some of it here today, but
Possibly.
yeah, I'm unfortunately for y'all a little stardomed out in terms of talking about it already, and there's not much to like really sink our teeth into on this conversion show, so it doesn't really matter. um, but yeah.
Okay. I will, yeah, head on over to the 5-star network dot 5-star-network.com for all of the latest articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of pro wrestling. Head on over to the 5-star network YouTube channel, which is where this, as well as shows like Actress Stage and No Limit Wrestling, all go up. New episode of No Limit finally went up for
Yes.
the great Mako Satomura. New Japan was so bad that Dylan and Xavier said, we're going to give the people something to talk about.
Yeah, we hot shotted it. Yeah, it was a really fun episode. We had Beth join us, and we talked about 7 Mako matches. Technically only 6, because one of them was the retirement tag exhibition match, her and Aja. Uh, and I was the only one that really wanted to talk about that. And I just kind of gushed about it for a minute. But yeah, we talked about some of her best matches. Not all of her best matches. We missed the first Aja one, which was probably better than the Aja one we watched, but we already talked about that on an episode of No Limit. And we didn't talk about the EO match, which felt like a match we should have included, but we just didn't we didn't
That
want
one's
to make it.
overplayed.
That's what I mean. Like we already had 7 matches. We didn't really want to dive into too many more, but we watched plenty of stuff, and it was a lot of great times were had with Beth and Xavier and I. Um, Kira Hokuto versus Mako Satomura remains like one of the best matches just ever. It's so good. Um,
I agree.
I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and I used to have it like a 9, then I had it at a 9.5, and now I have it at a 10. Um, like it's a match that ages
Inflation.
absurdly well. Yeah. Well, not even inflation. It like every time I watch it, I like it more. Um,
Okay.
and so the most recent instance of me watching it uh, was reviewed and was talked about on that episode of No Limit. So go check it out on the YouTube channel, please. And thank you.
Indeed. And with that, we will get on to Marigold. Marigold ran a few shows this past week, but more importantly, they announced the lineup for the Dream Star Grand Prix. We have Mai Iwatani, Utami Hayashishita, Mai Sakurai, Mirai, Miku Iono, Koki Amare, Toya Yuzuki, Seri Yamaoka, Natsumi Shozuki, Chika Goto, Kazuna Tanaka, Isa Nozaki, Chiaki Misamatsui, Chanyota, and one empty slot to be filled by a gauntlet. So, They went for blocks of 8, it would appear, unless they do something very weird. Um, I quite like the all killer, no filler kind of approach. Obviously, these aren't all killers, but I think you get in the key
Don't
people that
say
you
it.
needed. But like, look, you get in the key people you needed. You're gonna get the Darkness Revolution kind of cheating night off for everybody. Seri gets her experience in the Grand Prix. You have the top names there to kind of carry the top of the card. So there's nothing really wrong with this. I think it's a good lineup. Chanyoda is a great addition. She's a nice surprise. And, I think whoever gets that last spot will be interesting because it's probably either Rhea, Now, or Senka, and they all are very good. So I can't really
Yeah.
complain.
Um, Rip Komomo. Wish she had more of a shot, but she does not. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I am a fan of the lineup, though I will say I kind of wish there was more Marvelous inclusion.
Yeah.
But also when you look at it, it's like who would you take out? Uh, and the answer is Chiaki, and I don't want to take out Chiaki, so I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like that's
Hmm.
that's where we're at. Um, Chiaki's kind of like, and some people will find this to be a insult, but I don't mean it that way. Chiaki's kind of like my Ren Narita, who it's like I appreciate the work that they do. I just wish they like clicked a bit more, um, because I see it, but other people don't, and sometimes I get uh, you know, whatever the word is, discouraged as a fan of theirs. So I'm hoping that Chiaki kind of has a cool showing here. But yeah, so I'm happy like she got in, but it would have been great to get a Takumi or a Mio Momono or even one of Magenta. But I don't really see like I don't think either of the Magenta would have made sense given their heel turn.
Yes.
Like I feel like we couldn't like I don't really want to see that. Like I'm happy about the Rico My Sakurai challenge, but I don't think either of them would have fit in well. And Takumi's just kind of a political nightmare, so I get it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the only person that could have been in it was Mio Momono, and her not coming back yet. She's not gonna make her return and dive into the tournament. Just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get more marvelous unless Iroha wins the belt, and then it's like, well, I have to be in, but she's not in the gauntlet, so you're gonna
And
get
I also
at most
I
Senka.
think I think even if Takumi does win the belt, I think it kind of is cooler to have her be like, yeah, all you people in Marigold like eat each other alive to try to get to me. Like I think that is a very
Possibly.
realistic like tournament arc for the company is Takumi wins the belt and everybody is like on their on their shit trying to like maul each other alive for the opportunity to beat Takumi and win Marigold back. Like I think that's a better story than Takumi winning the belt and joining the tournament or not winning the belt and joining the tournament. I think her being out of the tournament regardless uh is really cool. If anything, if she loses to Utami, I would have wanted her in the tournament a bit more.
Yeah.
Because then it's like you have such a wall for someone to climb in the tournament and for you have draw fodder as it were. If you want to give some people some draws, uh Takumi can have 10 of them like that. That's about realistic. um but yeah, so I'm cool with the lineup.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think obviously we'll know a bit more when the blocks are announced and we'll get to
Mm.
kind of go, oh shit, this is what they're going to do and this is cool. But yeah, for now, I mean, that's the lineup. I don't think you can get much worse or much better. It's just kind of is what it is. But
Kazuna
I do
getting
like the blocks
automatic
of eight.
entry
Oh,
was
dude,
interesting.
every time Rossi tweets about her, I'm like, oh, that's it. He adores her. He's always like, she is such a shining light of our young core. Keep your eyes on Kazuna.
I
And
don't
I'm like,
disagree.
all right,
I
chill,
don't
man.
disagree. I think Kazuna is a highlight, and she has. I mean, she won earlier in the show. I
She did.
expected that to kind of translate to a Mayu challenge, but we're not there yet, it seems. Um, but yeah, so I was just shocked that she didn't have to get a gauntlet in. You know,
Yeah, I
same
guess
with
they didn't want
Chiaki
to
for
do
that
two
matter.
qualifiers.
Yeah, I would have
Chiaki, I think, is
expected
the
two
night off.
qualifiers.
You really gotta factor in the everybody getting their show where they have a 2-star match, and that's kind of it. So I
Boo!
don't know.
It shouldn't be similar to.
Um,
Yeah, again, I'm comparing it to New Japan again.
Shizoraka,
Sim, similar
Shizoraka.
to
It's an easier comparison. She is
Yeah,
what
but
Rocket used to be.
yeah,
Just hit them with a box, go home. Everybody's happy. That was it. So
yeah.
yeah.
I
All
just want to
right,
compare
we
it to
got
Sonata. Do you see his gear? His
yes,
Giant Gonzalez.
yes,
What a guy.
but we'll
What a
stick
guy.
to Joshi.
Yeah.
It's pure bad. But
Sonata,
uh,
not bad though. Go on.
well, I don't know about that. But anyway, we Marigold had a show on the 14th in the Osaka 176 box. They announced 523 fans here, which is incredible because it sounded like there were 3 at any given time. I hate the 176 box. It is becoming it's up there with the Sendai Pit now for me, where I'm like,
Yeah.
just please avoid it. But it's a good number, so what can I say?
Very
The
good number.
show opened with Kazuna Tanaka beating Nagisa Tachibana and Ryoko Sakamura in 5.5 minutes. Pretty standard. Good work
Mhm.
from Nagisa and Kazuna, and that's it.
Partially, I think we just need to get Ryoko out of these triple threat matches, man. Like these are like the
She
like
just needs to take a
she
break.
looks rough. Yeah, she needs to take a break. But she looks rough in like singles and tags and whatnot. But like just stop trying to make her focus on two opponents on once, please. Like it's not working. It's detrimental to everybody. But yeah, Sakamura, please take some time off. We're worried about you.
Yes, I agree.
Legitimately.
We're not going to be too mean. Mirai beat the debuting Yuuka Yamazaki in 11 minutes. I made this comparison earlier. Yuka is to Marigold what Emma Mishima is to
Hmm.
Stardom. She's just custom made for this house style, and
Yeah.
she's going to plug in and do well as they need, no matter what they ask her to do. Like she is just the most Marigold wrestler I've seen. Like everything she does
Hmm.
well fits the company. Everything she doesn't do well, she gets slated for elsewhere, but she doesn't here. Like she just fits very well. I think she shows a lot of fire. Her entrance music is pretty bad though. That's probably one
Oh, I
negative.
didn't mind it.
It's
I didn't
it's
think it
like
was good,
noise.
but
It's
like it
just
was
noise.
fine.
I'm not a fan, but she's got a lot of good stuff. I don't think she's gonna be like some megastar or anything, but she is definitely a solid wrestler to add to the cards.
Yeah, I'm a fan of hers. Shouts out Mad Dog. I think I'm going to refer to her as that from now on. The 91 Mad Dog, which is actually my nickname, my old nickname, my family nickname, uh, my first PSN name, believe it or not, Mad
Oh,
Dog 21. That's true. Um, yeah, I think she's really good at, like you said, kind of like fitting into the house style. Because you look at it, it's like she can do a lariat exchange. You know what I mean? She could do
mm-hmm.
that. She could do the chops. She could do the techers, the ground stuff. You know, not maybe not techers, quote unquote, but she could do the ground stuff, the submission work. Uh, and that's what you need here. And she has a couple impact moves that work. So it's like, yeah, that's you're ticking all the boxes here. If you just improve at that, you'll be good. And I could see the comparison because like Emma has the high speed stuff that is a lot more focused on in Stardom than it is in Marigold, and Yuka's like not fast. Like so, it's kind of like
Yeah,
the opposite, where it's like Yuka doesn't have to be fast; she can just do the more like you know more high energy, but like more close contact, intense shit. Uh, so yeah, I was a big fan of this match. I think Mirai's also just great at
yeah.
kind of guiding rooks, and yeah, I had a fun time. Twist of Fate, big fan, big
I
fan
love
of
the
her of
setup. I
her
love
of
that
her.
she literally just does
She
the
does
Jeff
the
Hardy.
yeah, throws the arm up. I love that. Yeah, because like there are people who do the Twist of Fate. Like Koguma does the Twist of Fate, but she doesn't do
Yeah,
the Twist of Fate. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, she isn't throwing it to Jeff Hardy.
What she should do is what Yuka should do when she starts winning is do the Twist of Fate stunner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Or she could do the opposite, like the Twist of Fate Netbreaker. Just build your moveset around the Twist of Fate. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Uh, I think it's awesome. And that sleeper, the La Magistral sleeper hold, sick as hell. I don't know if she hit it in this match. She hit it in the Korakuen match. Love it. Great move.
All right. We then get on to Chiaki and Misamatsuri of Darkness Revolution beating Flying Penguin and Hummingbird in 10 minutes. Should have been way shorter. Standard, fine, Darkness Revolution tag. Flying Penguin is not good. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
the
I
dance is
didn't think this
cool.
was I like the dance.
That's
I'm a
really all
fan of the
I've got.
dance.
I like the
Uh,
dance.
yeah, I thought the penguin and the bird did fine. I thought it was a bit long. Like I didn't think it was a good match, but I was like, whatever. That was
Yeah.
kind of my take.
All right.
And also, I get
Koki.
I get using the flying penguin because it probably costs like $5 to get her to do a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's on the undercard. She's a body, and I forget who was saying it, but it's like this probably just like helps their relationship with someone in, it's like, oh, you want to use my, like, whatever Shindy penguin works for. It's like, oh, you want to use her, like,
Super
it
Dolphins fed.
yeah, yeah, Delphin's fed. It probably just kind of is like a good, you know if Rossi was like, hey, your girl here, she sucks ass, we're not using her anymore, probably burning a bridge, probably shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So it's
Maybe.
like, why not
That's never
just keep her
stopped
on the
them
undercard?
before, but sure. Okay. Um, Koki and Utami beat Chikagoto and Nanami Yuki in 11.5 minutes. That was a solid match. Not a lot of Utami, which you kind of want, but I know they're clearly giving Koki a lot of in-ring time to just work off any rust she has and to get back up to full speed. And she did okay. I thought Yuki sold pretty well for Koki. The Chika Koki stuff was actually not too bad because they kept it to like short bursts, which I think they do much better at. Um, yeah, just a much better effort than some of the other Koki Chica tags. Even with Utami kind of taking a back seat.
Yeah, that was noticeable. I did like what Koki and Goto were able to do here. Um, I also appreciate that Koki can actually like lift up Yuki Minami. Um, and so she got to do some power moves, which she doesn't usually get to do, which was really cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. It was
Kohi
fun.
cannot hit the Amethyst Butterfly anymore. I don't know what happened,
Yeah.
but
Oh
she
yeah, that was
she
something I
absolutely
remember.
fucked. She almost
Uh,
like landed
no,
sideways.
no, she went the other way this time, so she just kind of like landed on her crotch more so, instead of her face, so it was fine. Um, but Yuki Minami kicked out at 3.4, and I think that's
Yeah,
really funny.
that's a real wrestler right there.
Yeah, shouts out. Actually, I gotta give a little bit of love. Um, Yuki Minami and Shikagoto, very good team. Like
Yes.
they click
Yeah, I like
together
them together.
way more than I was expecting, and it makes Yuki Minami look a lot better
Hmm.
than she does alone. So like this being like a more consistent thing is definitely for the. It makes Chika look good because it makes her look more mature as a wrestler, and it makes
Mm.
Yuki look good because it kind of brings her up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
no, it's a very effective
it's,
babyface team.
yeah, very net positive team there.
Mai Sakurai, Seri Yamioka, and Shino beat Komomo Minami, Mikoyo Ono, and Rei Seto in just under 16 minutes. Probably the match of the show.
Mm.
A lot of really good pairings in this one. Seri and Rhea kind of did their thing. Komomo did it briefly with Seri. Shino tried to square up to Mikoyo Ono and died for her sins. Mai Sakurai was in there with Miku briefly. A lot of really good stuff. A lot of really good wrestlers. Like just a very fun tag. Probably should have been the main event, realistically, but it is what it is.
Exxon's too over, brother. So is my. Yeah, I really like this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. Um, I Shino just gets beat up.
Yeah.
Like it's I was watching this match and I would like look away, or my niece would ask me for something, or I whatever would happen, and I'd look up and Shino was getting her fucking ass beat again. Like I was just like, she wasn't even in the match last time I was looking. Well, how did it turn into her getting beat up again?
Yeah.
Damn, it just kept happening. But yeah, I thought it was a good match, nonetheless. I, I think everybody in this match is good. Hot take.
Yeah.
Like
I would
I thought
agree.
this, I would agree this was the match of the show. The debut was quite good, but it was a debut. It was different kind of good. This was just like functionally the best match of the show, uh,
Hmm.
and everybody did well. Yeah.
All right. The main event was Mayu Utani and Victoria Yuzuki beating Megaton and Nagisa Nozaki in just under 14 minutes. Very low effort from just about everybody except Yuzuki, who tried to die again. Nozaki slept walked through the match, which is crazy. Usually Mayu gets something out of Nozaki, but even here she was like, I don't know, man. I'm not really interested. So it was like completely fine, bog standard house show tag. Um, but yeah, the obvious importance was that they did an angle on an Osaka show with essentially a day's notice because they tweeted the day before where they were like, "Oh, this is the one where if Megaton loses, she's out. We're not waiting till Cork, and like this is it." So they did kick Megaton out. All
It
three of
was
them were
it
just
was kind of
talking
evil.
shit
It
nonstop. It
was
was so mean.
it was kind of evil because like Nozaki was like, we told you it was your last chance. What are we gonna do? Like kind of like, oh man, I don't really want to do this. And then she's like turned her back to her and she's like, well, Megaton is officially banished and we all hate her now and we're going to kill her. Nozaki-sama has decided. And then they all jump her. I was like, what the fuck? That was so evil. So evil. Like gotta be like, oh, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you tried. Oh, maybe. And then she just turns around. She's like, okay, she's gonna die now.
This is
Get
how we get heat
dead.
on Darkness
It
Rev.
was so good. It was so good. Like I genuinely thought it was a great like heel, moment. I was like, yeah, that's evil. Like you're an evil group.
Yeah.
Um, and it worked. You know what I mean? Like without it feeling like it was kind of cheap. Like I felt like they did it quite well overall. Also, big fan of Darkest Revolution trying to catch Mayu's thing when she throws it.
Yes.
Mayu's little ball. Very funny of Nozaki trying to, play defense. I think that's great. But yeah, evil shit, evil bastards over there, the bringers of disaster, Darkest Revolution.
Yeah.
Um,
And Koki made the save for
yeah,
Megaton
well,
of all people.
Mayu kind of made the save. She's like, hey, you guys don't have to do like just kind of. She's like, you guys are being kind of mean. And then, but yeah, Koki came in and cleared house, kinda, and yeah,
She
that became
escorted
a thing.
Megaton back. She was like, "Hey, man, we're chill. I'll help you out." So that was our babyface moment of the show,
And
and we will get
Chikugoto
to
was
discuss
pissed.
that team next. Yeah, Chikigo's always pissed.
She goes like, "You got kidding me? She'd rather team with her too." This is
Yeah, that's pretty
ridiculous.
funny though. It's like I can't achieve what I want with you, Chikigoto, but I will save Megaton. Um, We did have a second Marigold show. This went up earlier today, but because Corkin was also earlier, we didn't really have a chance to watch both. The only kind of stuff of note from this one is that Yuuka Yamazaki beat Ryoko, so Yuuka is already winning in her second ever match, whereas Lisa Tachibana still has yet to win. Um, Chiaki, Matsui, and Nozaki beat Mirai and Selena Flora, so they seem to be getting behind that trio as kind of okay. We got rid of the dead weight, and now we're serious and we're ready to go,
Mhm.
kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see the rise of Darkness Revolution now without Megaton. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was really that.
I feel like. Well, actually, I wonder if Gigaton's coming back.
I don't know because now Shikawa was on the show today as herself,
Yeah,
so I have
I wonder
no idea.
because like,
Unless she's gonna lose as herself and fully lose the plot, and then that's it. She's heel
she's
forever.
going to lose as herself.
And
That's for
yeah,
sure.
maybe that's it. She's gonna lose and just lose her shit because she got beat up by Senka or something.
Would probably be ideal. No, you know what would actually make even more sense, and it's a bit too like American style, uh, uh, turn, but I could 100% see like now and Rhea in the penultimate round of the gauntlet, and Rhea wins, and then now just gets up and jumps her, and then Senka just comes out and
Mm,
is like, "Oh, uh, you want to get up so we could fight?" You know what I mean? Like she's like, "Oh, that's scary," type thing. Like I think that would, if we want to turn now heel, which it feels like that's why Gigaton was a thing, was because they wanted another body in Darkest Revolution. Um, you could just do that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing there. Yeah, I'm a fan of the three-person Darkest Revolution, but I do think they need another member. That's why I bring up Gigaton slash Naoshikawa.
yeah.
Um, I was tweeting about it. I think Arena Yamanaka is a great shout. Because I don't even think they need like a permanent fourth member. I
I
just
don't know.
think
I think you need somebody who's around.
not really. I mean, like I think it works. Like Arena's
Two
around what
a
sixty
group
percent
with
of the
two
time.
full timers and Nozaki and another part timer would just be a mess.
But
As we have slightly
Nozaki's
seen with
not
Yugi
a
the Loco. Um,
slightly. Nozaki's around on 99% of
she
shows.
is,
Like
I guess,
I
but
don't think
I don't know.
like you have three, people who are pretty much always there and a fourth. Like I think that works. A fourth who's like usually there, sometimes there. Um, I think that's fine. That's why Arena is kind of my pick there. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm a
All
fan
right.
of the 3 person, but we'll see. I think they definitely need another.
I agree. All right. So today we had Marigold running Korakuen Hall. They had 912 fans here, which is a pretty good number when you consider they didn't really do much on this show. I was saying it yesterday to somebody. I was like, they really got ballsy. It's a two-match show, basically, like two big-ish matches, and
I think
of the
that
big
kind of
match,
explained it
four
to
of
us.
the like 10 competitors were not signed. They were
I think it
relying on unsigned wrestlers and rookies to draw, and they
kind of
did.
explained it to us that it's like why we were seeing that they were selling out tickets so quickly. They're probably like, we're gonna get like 400 people in this bitch. Like like
Yeah.
let's just aim
Yeah, the
low.
constant
And then they were
sellouts,
like,
they really must set up for a very low number and
well,
build
no,
from there.
because it depends. Like some days they like one sellout is 1,000 people. But sometimes like this time, I think they were like, yeah, we're probably not gonna like get that big of a house, so
Mhm.
let's just set up for like 700. And then they hit over 900, which I think is a win.
Yeah.
Uh, I think over 900 is a win. Under 800 is a loss, effectively for Marigold right now. And they got over 900 with a show where things happened, but it wasn't particularly like this was one of their weaker Corrigans.
Yeah, I mean, there was no big singles match.
Like there was nothing big happening at all
Yeah.
outside of the trios match was very good and it was a big deal, but it's like it didn't have any stakes. It wasn't even, reinventing the wheel.
Mhm.
Fascinating how well they did here actually.
It is, honestly. A lot of stuff
On a
surprises me
Tuesday.
lately. On a Tuesday. Yeah. I don't know. Joshi is confusing these days. The show opened with Hummingbird and Ryoko Sakamura beating Natsumi Suzuki and Nagisa Tachibana in 7.5 minutes. Hummingbird got the win for her team, and yeah, it was fine. Ryoko Natsumi tried to get something out of
Yeah, I think
Ryoko, and
Shizuki
it was
got
like the most we've
a decent
seen
amount.
from
Yeah.
Ryoko in a little bit, but it still was not that good. Tachibana, for her parts, I thought was fine, and
The
yeah,
bird
it
is the
was
word.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then we went on to Victoria Yuzuki and Kazuna Tanaka beating Rei Seto and Komomo Minami. Kazuna Tanaka got the win with a re-dream in 11 minutes. Very good match.
Yep.
Like one of those Victoria Yuzuki performance where she doesn't almost die, and you're just like, hell yeah, I see the vision. Kazuna obviously is very good. I think Rhea and Komomo are both kind of motivated by the constant passing over for other wrestlers. They're a bit like, all right, we're gonna beat you up now. We're really pissed off about this. So
Oh yeah,
everybody
Rhea
was
was
throwing like
fucking laying her shit in, bro. It
she
was
was, yeah.
awesome.
Everybody was throwing heated forearms. Rhea was trying to twist people into knots. Like this was a very good match. Probably one of the stronger of the show. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I would say one of the stronger of the show.
probably. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of. Wasn't a long show.
No, that's true. I'm just going through it now, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't know,
Third,
but
fourth, you know.
yeah,
It
it
was
was
very
good.
good. I thought it was
Very
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And
Kazuna
then
continues to win, by the way.
yes, she does. Yeah,
Mayu,
she's
we
definitely
coming for
building
you.
something. Misumatsuri and Chiaki beat Koki and Megaton. Uh, Misa got the pin in 8 minutes over Megaton with a diving foot stomp. Babyface Megaton is perfect. Her shtick translates really well. The crowd was super behind her and Koki. They were behind the like team offense they did. I loved the new gear and the new look for Megaton with all the flowers and rainbows and stuff. Uh, it just was very good. The crowd was into them.
She
And
really is
Chiaki
death.
Chiaki got heat with me, like, legitimately for what she did after the match where she sat on Megaton and was slapping her. I was like, "Don't you have a title match to lose? Get out of here." So, I was heated on
That's
behalf
real
of
heel heat.
Megaton. They are getting real heat with me, which is why it's
And
working.
with the crowd.
Yeah,
Uh
people like Megaton.
second most heat of anybody on the show behind Sorayame, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Um
Yeah.
yeah. Like I said, Megaton and Mayu, those are the ones. Like
Yes.
those are the motherfuckers that fans care about for real.
There
Um
are some very over wrestlers on this roster.
oh yeah, for sure.
Um,
But Megaton and Mayu ahead of the rest.
They're the ones.
But yeah, I thought this match was all right. If you asked
Mhm.
me a single thing that Koki did, I wouldn't be able to tell you. In fact, I accidentally wrote down Shozuki's name instead of Koki, because I don't
That's
remember.
crazy.
They did the double press because Koki does the same thing that Megaton does low key, and they were like, oh, let's do it at the same time, and it was cool. That was cool.
I remember that 'cause the crowd
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, hey, they're doing the thing," and I was also like, "Oh, hey, they're doing the thing."
I also
Um,
I it's very simple stuff. She does it every show. Love Megaton going up to the first rope, up to the second rope, back down to the first rope, and doing the splash. Like it's
yeah,
such a good bit. Like I every time I just giggle. You know what I mean?
we
It's a good
need
bit.
more wrestlers whose gimmick is that they're really bad at wrestling. It is the funniest shit.
It
It
works
works
sometimes,
every
man.
time. It works literally every time. I've never seen it fail. Like even on indies, if you've ever gone to an indie and you have this
Mhm.
local geek whose gimmick is that he sucks at wrestling, and it's so funny, and it always gets over. Um, yeah,
I
that's
mean,
that's kind of
if
where
you look at
Megaton
it,
is.
like two of the greatest wrestlers ever, Kira Yoneyama and Sakura Hirota, are both like canonically meant to be bad at wrestling half the time. Especially Hirota. Like
Oh
Kira
yeah,
Yoneyama
Hirota's entire
obviously has a
existence is
shit
fucking
of like
yeah.
protection historically, but at other times it's like yeah, she's just like she's just short and she's a clown. Literally, she's a clown. Uh, and like I think that's great. Like like the complete it just really sets flips it on its head, wrestling in general, and I like that. So yeah, Megaton is in good company. Not as good as them, but good company for sure,
All
stylistically.
right. Um, we then went on to Chikugoto and Minami beating Mirai and Yuka Yamazaki in 12 minutes. Chikugoto beat Yuka with a choke slam in 12 and a half minutes. This is the first win in 2 months for the team of Go Momo. They are very
Ooh.
popular. I like how
Wait,
Minami
this is
has.
that's not what this is. That's
What do
not
you mean?
that's not Gomomo. Gomomo is
Oh,
Komomo, and you said something
whoops.
wrong.
I don't know. Anyway, um, I like how Komomo has no, not Komomo. Yuki has added herself onto the taunt where she does the ouchka, kochka, gochka, and then Yuki just pops in Minami. It's very good. It works. And the match was very good, as you might imagine. Mirai beating down on two baby faces is immaculate, and then having a like fiery, desperate rookie come in to get her shit rocked in return is fantastic. So I thought this was quite good. I think Chikyo Goto keeps showing more and more and just keeps getting more and more popular. And they've really got something there. But her and Minami as a team, I think, could really help Minami get to that next level because she's a great seller and a great baby face. And if you have her kind of setting up Chika Goto, I think it can work. Dylan had to go, so I had to monologue a bit, but I have run out of things to say. Um, so that's it. That's all I got on Chika Goto and Yuki Minami. I will definitely keep making mistakes on the names because there are too many people with similar names in this company. It's going to get very, very confusing. Um, Maybe the people who were talking about like Brian Hangman Page and Brian Cage having two similar names were onto something because it is a lot.
Yeah, so I like this match. I thought the match was fun. Like I said, I think Shikugoto looks a lot better when Yuki Minami's around, and Yuki Minami looks a lot better when Shikugoto's around. Uh, and I think this match was an example of that. Yuka is really cool, and I appreciate having her in this scenario because it's like a lot of the pecking order is kind of decided already to some degree. But with Yuka, it's like you kind of are like, oh, I wonder where she's gonna kind of land. So like her falsie with the sleeper hold on Yuki was like I legitimately was like, oh, maybe maybe we have movement here. Maybe this is happening. And she, didn't. She lost to Go Chica. But I felt like that was like kind of a cool little aspect, and I really liked that part of it. And in general, Mirai's really good. She kind of took the back seat, let Yuka do her thing. Um, yeah, I fuck with the Mad Dog. She's really cool, and I thought everybody in the match looked good. So wasn't anything crazy, but I quite liked it.
All right. Um, Let me bring up the results again because I have to use my phone because Cage Match doesn't have the results yet. And the only place with results is BBM Weekly. So fun. We have Miku Ono beating Arina Yamanaka in 10 minutes. This was like a prove yourself match almost for Arina. It felt like Miku was really testing her and being like, hey, try, come fight me. And she did. I thought it was a very fun match. A lot of good kind of exchanges, a lot of good counter stuff, a lot of good strikes, especially. And, Miku just gets the best out of everybody. Even when Arena had like a misstep, Miku was there to just keep things on track.
Yeah, no, I thought this match was very good. I wasn't expecting it to be like, much better than like, oh yeah, that was good. But I actually thought it was like it was very good, frankly.
Mm.
Um, I hot take, second best match of the night, I think. And that was I really liked it. Um,
Wow.
Miku's great. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
Miku just kind of like brings the best out of people. Uh, her title run was so fascinating.
Yeah, in hindsight, it's so
Yeah,
weird. She was
because it's
already
like
been a champion,
it
and it
feels like
wasn't the
she's
best shit
just
ever.
yeah, it feels like she's just like so good right now. And it's like a lot of her title run was just like, yeah, that was good. You know what I mean? But like I feel like she's on such a consistency run right now that it's really awesome to see. Um and I thought Arena is awesome. I just think she's really cool. And you tweeted it. I think that it's like it would be fascinating to see Arena if she was full time for the past year or two. Um, I forget when she debuted. Was it a year ago? 2 years ago?
2019
The fuck? Oh yeah, I
in Best
forgot.
Body
She
Japan, yeah.
she was wrestling like twice a year for a few
She's
years or
been
whatever.
part-timing for a long
Um,
time. That's why I was like, because she's like 37 or so, according to Cage
38,
Match. If
38.
you get like a young 30s Arena full time, I mean, by now I think she's an absolute killer, but I don't
Yeah,
think it's
no,
gonna
I agree.
happen. So,
Um, yeah, so I quite like her. I think it was a lot of fun.
did
And she
you
brought
see the post-match bits? It felt weirdly like
of this
Arena,
match.
yeah, because
No,
Arena, just the way she was like celebrating to the fans and not selling the finish much, almost made me go, Was this like her send off? Was this her big like
it could have been.
goodbye match? Because it felt very send offy with how she kind of walked out, but I don't know. I could just be panicking over nothing. But they did recently stop booking Riara, so maybe they're just not going to use some
I
of
miss
these
her.
outsiders as much. I don't know. Um, we then went on to the Twin Star Championship match. Riko Kawahata and Maria beat Mai Sakurai and Shanyota in 15 minutes. Riko got the win over Mai. We thought it would be Maria, but it was actually Riko that got in there and beat Mai.
Well, I could have
Uh,
seen either.
with,
They like Rico more, but Maria
yeah,
would have made
apparently.
more sense. Uh, yeah, this match was.
It was great. I don't know if
I thought it
maybe
was
you didn't
good.
like it. I thought it was great.
I didn't
Uh,
love it.
Interesting.
Um, I thought there was just like more to it than what was given. Like I felt like it was a very long heat segment, and then a few minutes of my Sakurai kind of mounting the comeback for her team, and then it was over. Like there was no real like like the meat of it wasn't like exciting. I would
Hmm.
say. But it was good. Like it wasn't like it was like boring. I'm just saying that it's like I kind of was like, okay, and then we're gonna get into it, and they never really got into it. So it was just a good match. You know, what I mean that's kind of how I saw it, especially considering the house style of the Twin Stars. Um, I feel like pretty much every Twin Star match has had that like, and then we start going crazy. Uh,
Hmm.
even if it's only for a few minutes, even if it's a pretty small thing. I never really felt that here. I really felt like, oh, and then we're gonna get into it, and in part because this was a means to an end. It was to build to Rico versus my Sakurai. It was to give them a V1. But given what we've seen from Chan Yoda as a tag wrestler in the past, and given what Magenta, Magenta's one of the best tag teams that we've seen in Joshi the past couple years. So it's like with all that in consideration, I felt like it was a bit of a letdown. Though it was still a very good match. Like I thought it was still um, you know well above average, well above uh, you know w- fine. Like I thought it was an actively good match, but I
Hmm.
kind of expected more from the sum of its parts.
All right. Well, I don't know. I thought it
I
was
think it
great.
was more I think it was more just like layout formatting. Because I enjoy Chan Yoda like House of Firing, and she didn't really get to do that. She's got beat up the whole time, mostly. You know,
Kind of. I don't know. The Miko, no, Rico and my stuff
Jesus
was good
Christ.
enough. The
Yeah, no,
Rico
I
and my
agree.
stuff was great and good enough, I think, to
As a preview
close out.
tag to that match, it was a good, it worked. But as like a twin star title match, I thought it was kind of weak. Does that make
All
sense?
right. Kind of. Yeah. I disagree, but
That's
I
fine.
get where you're coming from. According to the Weekly Pro, this was Mai Sakurai's first loss in 186 days, which is insane. And because of
First
that, she
pinfall
demanded a
loss
rematch.
since Utami, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, probably. Would that be 186 days?
That seems way
No,
too long.
no, it
I don't
wouldn't.
know.
That
I
would
don't
be
know who she lost to recently.
January or so, I think.
Wait, no. Oh, she lost to Darkest Revolution.
Yeah.
In December. Dark Wolf Army.
Yes, yes.
That's what it
Oh
was.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So she obviously was upset at her winning streak breaking and challenged Riko Kawahata for a United National Championship match in July. So they have a Corkin, I think, on the 16th of next month. Or
Hmm.
am I just saying that because it's the 17th today and I got confused? It's sometime
That is
next month,
possible.
and I believe they're running this and the red belt match on that one because they are loading it up. We then got the Dream Star GP participants announced via a video, which we already went over. And then we got into the main event of the
By the way,
show,
don't like the logo. It's kind of bland.
the Dream Star.
Yeah.
You only said that now? That was shown weeks ago.
I know, but I just like kind of looked at it. You
It
know what I
looks
mean?
like an American NASCAR logo. It feels
Yeah.
very like
I also very random
blank.
nitpick, hate the numbers. I hate that the 0 and the 5 have the blue in it lower than the blue's supposed to be. I don't like that. And then the white,
Yeah.
like I think this is AI.
Probably, yeah.
I think that's the problem.
Of
I'm
course.
realizing I think that's the problem. Um, because yeah, the the colors around the numbers just it looks wrong and it's off in an AI sort of way. So that sucks.
Okay. Well, okay. Um, I have to go back into this now. Marigold versus Marvelous. Utami Hayashishita, Mayu Utani, and Seri Yamaoka beat Takumi Iroha, Sora Ayame, and Senka Akatsuki in 18 minutes. Utami got the win with a Torturak bomb
Yeah,
over
Senka.
Sora. Senka, yes. They don't mark it
They
on
don't
this.
they don't care they don't care about Sora so much they don't even let her lose.
It's crazy. Um, this was great. This was a very, very strong match. Everything worked really well. Like Takumi, for some reason, it's on site with Seri. Like she's just like, I will hurt you. Like I'm done.
She's
Senka got the
she's Serious Kryptonite 100% and I
She
love it.
is, as she should. Senka was a mad dog in there with Utami
Hey,
and
that's
stuff
somebody
and
else,
did her
man.
thing.
That's
Mayu
gimmick
and Sora
infringement, you
was
know it.
It is. Mayu and Sora was funny, and then Mayu and Takumi teased us with a very brief interaction there that I know they're going to build on. So they just did lots of different pairings, and they all worked, and the match had a really good flow. And I thought, Takumi being pinned to the corner by two wrestlers as the finish happened really put the whole thing into perspective of like she's the big
Yeah.
warhead here for Marvelous. If we can just get her out of the equation, we can win. And I think Utami staring her down as she got the pin was fantastic. I haven't seen that Utami in a long, long time. Welcome back, Utami. It only took Nanai retiring, and she seems to have finally learned the taunt buttons on the controller. So we're in for a good time. I think they're really building this match very well. Like even Takumi like pretending to square up to Utami and then just being like nah and tagging out. Fantastic. She's just continuously like no, I'm not doing it, and I think that's great. So yeah, I just loved everything about this. I thought it built to the match really well. It built to an eventual Mayu Takumi match. It built up Senka. It built whatever Mayu and Sora are doing. Like it just did a lot of different stuff, and I thought the wrestling itself was also very strong.
Yeah, I thought the match was damn near great. I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, very funny moment to get more heat on Marvelous with Sorayama stealing Mayu's tail.
Mm.
Like a couple minutes into the match, and everybody just booing the shit out of her for
Mayu
it.
killed her for it, in
Uh,
fairness.
yeah, and it was awesome.
Died for her
Um,
sins.
I think Mayu could have probably been a bit more stiff with Sora, but
Yeah.
also I think that would have led to Takumi being a bit more stiff with Mayu, so that could have I get it. Uh, it's a trios match. It's a Tuesday. Let's not get too too rash here. But yeah, that was a very very good match. I loved it. Could have used a bit more Seri Yamioka because I did love what she did early on. Um, and then from there she kind of was more reserved in the background of just trying to do something that would affect Takumi and eventually succeeding. Hitting her with a
Yeah.
spear and it being like a big
That was
moment that she
so well
finally.
done.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
so
I love
great
that.
because I love the spear as a move, but I love it more when it's a counter. Because
Mhm.
Takumi was spinning for the forearm and just got smacked with the spear. It
Yeah.
was fantastic.
And I just thought that like Sari, finally like got one up on Takumi, which she hasn't been able to like at all.
Yeah.
So just like even if it was just that one moment, I thought it worked. Even if I wanted a little bit more from Sari there, but yeah, otherwise I thought it was really good. Senka obviously is a G. And I'm excited for hopefully her to be in the Grand Prix. Um, but yeah, I really like the match. That's the thing about the
Mhm.
show. It was just like a good show. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a serviceable Korkin. You know what I mean? Like I said, probably a bit weaker than most their Korkins. Uh, that have been a bit because their Korkins are usually treated a bit more high profile, but coming off of a big, off the Yo Yogi show, they kind of like ease back into Korkin. So I get it.
Yeah.
Uh, they haven't had a Korkin since then, right? Or am I?
Um, I don't think so because that was late May. It is only mid-June. So if there is, we
Yeah,
have both
no,
somehow managed to erase it from our minds.
no Korkins. Yeah, because
Said
it's
that.
the
They did
Yo
the
Yogi show.
Shinjuku face show,
Yeah,
which I think maybe is the one.
so yeah, they kind of like eased back into Cork, and it wasn't like a gigantic like where seven big matches, seven like or nothing
Yeah.
major. The main event was very very good, but pretty you know low key Cork and Hall show.
Mhm.
Still got over 900, so good for them.
The post-match angle was absolute chaos.
Yep,
Utami challenged Takumi. They proposed a
for a
double
double
title
title
match.
match.
Takumi said, I can't do that until Monday Magic ends. And then they kind of unofficially made it for next month because Utami in the backstage was like, hey, I invite you to our Corkin next month. So they're going to run that next month. Mayu also said, hey, listen, whatever you guys do, I'm paying attention to that GHC title, which is pretty sick. And then Senko was like, I want to be in the Dream Star Grand Prix. And out came the entire young Marigold roster,
That was
except
not included
Ryoko,
in the tournament.
except Ryoko, who
Yeah,
must not care. And Rhea Seto was in tears, like we want to be in it. This is our company. We want to represent our company. We want to be in it. And then now Ishikawa, who wasn't on the show, who a week ago
had
said she has
had a
cysts in
yeah.
her body, she just strolls out and is like, "What about me? I want to be in it too." So let's do a gauntlet for the final spot in the Dream Star. So that's gonna happen sometime. It's gonna be Senka. I think Utami asked Sora to be in it as well. So Senka, Sora, Rhea, Shino, I think was there. You can tell because she's really tall. And just a bunch of the rookies with Rhea Seto and now. And they're gonna do a gauntlet to decide the final spot. And as we kind of said, it's either now Rhea or Senka, and most likely probably would be Senka. I would imagine they want to do another her match between her and Seri. You could easily do that on like a cork in the undercard for one of the shows. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. They definitely could have just done 20. Like that's where I'm at. I'm thinking it's a shame that Rhea can't get in
yeah.
and
I think they
now can't get in
probably
and Senka
booked
can't get in.
the venues
Yeah,
too
we talked
early
about that
and
last
have
week.
now
That was like
swelled the roster and are like, we could do 20, but we don't have the venues.
given
we
given
don't
that
have enough
like
dates booked.
given that like generally and again we talked about this a bit last week. Generally Puro companies book like a year in advance. like um their dates.
Yeah.
And they just announce them a bit later, but they book them out like a year in advance. Think about 9 months ago, uh, where they were at when they were probably
Yeah.
booking these cards. You know,
Yeah. Like there
at,
was
at
no
least at
Tachibana
least
at that
think
point.
about 6 months ago. Like even if
Yeah.
it was like this year that they booked these shows, uh, they still were like, ah, we have like 5 people. So it's like, it makes sense them being like, let's stick to 16 and just kind of like, this is probably in the works for a while that they were
Yeah.
just gonna get have 16 and fill it out
I
as they
don't know
can.
if Rossi ever did 20 before Bushi Road. Like I think he just personally seems to like the smaller
Frankly,
blocks.
I think 18, given that they don't do even dates, I don't know why they don't do 18. Because the problem with
I don't
18
know.
is that
He
nine
probably
people.
just likes the math of blocks of 8.
Yeah, true.
I
I mean,
I
like
bet
most
that man
people
is
do.
so used to it, he's like plugs names into a spreadsheet of what he did before and is gonna do the exact same stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's just stuck in
But yeah,
his ways a little bit.
given that like the problem with like a G1 having, maybe I'm dumb and I'm forgetting a aspect of round robin tournaments. The reason why like the G1 doesn't have 18 people in it is because um that would be 9 and 9, and that would give one person a day off. Like it would give like days off, and it just doesn't really work as easily. It's not even, so
Yeah,
to
for
speak.
how New Japan books it, it doesn't because they just run the
But
entire lineup.
exactly, and it's like every day. It's yeah.
Yeah.
So with Marigold, they easily could have done 18. Like it just needed to be an even number. So
Mhm.
it's a bummer that they didn't go up to 18 because you could definitely get a Rheasetto and now Ishikawa in there, for example, but alongside Asanka. But
Yeah,
is what it is.
that's true. And that is it for Marigold. There's no cards to preview because they haven't announced them. So fun
Where
times.
are they this weekend? Do you know?
Yamagata, I think,
Mm,
was the place. Yeah, we'd have to go to the Marigold website, which, as you know, is a pain in the ass because their website is not very good. But it's not anywhere major. It's small places.
gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see, Korakuen, Yamagata, yeah, Fukushima. So whatever they book will not be good.
Jesus.
And that is was it for Marigold. We will obviously review whatever the house shows are next week and preview more house shows because they are in Saitama for a double header. And
Mm,
yeah, it's gonna get very thin on the Marigold front for a little bit until the Korakuen. So have fun with that. Um, we're
I
on to
will.
Stardom. Stardom had no news as far as I'm aware. Like they didn't do much this past week.
Suzuki is 2-0 in Catch the Wave, I believe. Uh,
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah. I actually do want to watch both of her matches against Nanami and against Amakura. Those are the ones
Yeah.
that have happened. I like all of those wrestlers, so I'm going to try to seek that out this week
All right. I know the Ayasakura has a Senjo Junior title defense this
against
week.
Yuna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
against Yuna. But Yuna is not good, so we're just gonna pretend that
Oh,
isn't
and
happening.
Yuria wants
Yeah, I
to
was
join
gonna do
Stars
that in
officially.
the
Yeah.
preview bit.
Okay.
So Stardom the Conversion, June 21st, Yoyogi National Stadium. This is the pay-per-view, the much maligned sometimes pay-per-view, the much hyped pay-per-view, depending on your stance on Bushi Road. I think the card came together fairly well. Those last few matches they announced were kind of cool. BMI 2000 and FWC saving the show. Um, yeah, we're just gonna preview it. I don't think we'll take long because a lot of it is fairly straightforward, but we can dive in. So this is match 0. This is pre-show again. Yuria is on the pre-show. She's taking on Waka, and normally we would ignore that, but Yuria obviously challenged for the New Blood Tag Championships and said, "I will have a mystery partner." Over the weekend, Stars was like, "Hey, Yuria, you want to join us? Yeah, I think you should join, and we will team with you for the New Blood tags."
Hmm.
And that's an interesting one because
Kinda.
EXV
Wait, but
seemed to have Yuria in their clutches to join, and
yeah,
now Stars has
it's
thrown their hat into the
it's
ring.
interesting how like slow this has been with Yuria, because it's like at first Yuria was like, I want to challenge for the New Bloods, and everybody's like, you have not won a match. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, my bad." And now it's like with Stars, Yuria was like, "Yeah, I want to join Stars," but Ida was like, maybe still your role, but also they want like they are actively scouting people to join
They have asked 3 different rookies to
Stars.
join since the
Yeah,
start of the year because
and
Hanan
they've
is landing.
asked,
Hanan is
yeah.
rebuilding. She's tired of tanking. She wants those
So
young assets.
interesting way that we're like kind of going about this. But yeah, Yuria seems stars bound, which is for the best. Yuria is very good, and
Hmm.
you know, I think it'll benefit her to be in a solid group, and also she can get placed kind of above Momokogo, which is
Yeah,
good for her. You know, what I mean, like she doesn't have an immediate ceiling, in terms of hierarchy in the group. So good work.
I agree. And she might win. She might beat Waka on that pre-show match just because they love
That'd
to
be based.
50-50 stuff. Um, we seem to open the actual card with Hina defending against Rian. The
Hina, put
future
that girl
Stardom title,
down.
that is. I imagine Hina retains, but I also don't know where her reign is going. Like, I don't see a logical next step. Um,
I think Azusa should beat her.
Probably. Yeah, maybe.
Has Azusa
Will they do
challenged her
that
yet?
though? I have no idea. I don't think so. But
I know she challenged someone recently. I watch the shows, guys. Like I know it sounds like I don't, but like I'm like completely blanking. Did
we're
she?
trying to remember 2 companies worth of lore now. It's it's a lot.
No, no. She
Um,
okay. She hasn't challenged. She hasn't challenged
yeah,
Hina.
I didn't think Hina has had many challengers.
She
Just
hasn't
Hannah.
challenged for the future
Okay.
since she challenged against Miyu, uh,
Oh wow.
earlier this year. That's why
Right.
in
Fair.
January.
See, the thing with Rian is if she won, she has stuff happening with her peers who are rookies, whereas Hina doesn't. Hina's kind of outside of the group almost because she's kind of with her sister
Older.
as a
Yeah.
class. Whereas Rian obviously has the Akira beef. She would be like a classmate of 2 or 3 of the other ones. She could tell stories with this belt, but every time I've predicted that, they've just kept the belt on the older head.
To be
So
fair, I think that like the future of Storm title is like the one title that you don't really need a story for. I mean, it's kind of
kind of,
natural.
but it can
Um,
enhance it, especially when they have
yeah.
so many rookies right now.
I mean, they did that with Miyu Hina. Obviously, that was
Yeah,
like, they were former tag partners and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't think Rion should win. Don't think
of
she's
course
ready.
not.
Uh,
I
I
mean, she
don't think
was
she
just
can.
losing to Akira like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah,
so
and I
I think
don't
it
think
would
she
be a
can
very
lead.
quick
I don't think she
turn.
can lead matches well enough to be a future champion, where she's going
That's
to
true.
have to lead
What
against
does
pretty
being
much
a
everybody.
future champion mean anymore? Because it's not like it's the
Alex,
de facto
if you want to
title
get,
opener belt anymore. It's not always main eventing New Blood. Like they kind of lean towards the tags there now. Like, what is the future of Stardom
if you
champion?
want
I
to get
think Rian
existential
could
about it,
easily
we
win
can
it.
get existential about it.
No, I just mean like there's no. You're not doing the Hanan has to open every pay per view thing anymore with the future belt. Like that's not where we are. Rian could definitely win it and just have 10-minute matches on New
The
Blood,
the
second
thing
from the
about the
top.
future belt is that it's like the only achievable belt, it feels like. It's like the only sought after belt right now.
Yeah, I
Like it
guess
is the only belt where you can name 5 people who are like, I want to win the future belt.
that's true.
You can't say that for any other wrestler this year or any other title this year.
It's like I can't even
And
get challengers.
I mean, even the tag titles, it's like, I mean, if you're talking 5 teams instead of 5 people, because you could name 5 people, it's 2 teams, 2.5 teams. But like Saripoi was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll win the tag belts now. Like that
Yeah,
just kind of makes sense. It's like,
I guess.
do you have any passion for it? Passion. Do you have any
Passion.
passion for it? It's like it just doesn't. I don't know. Like the future belt is like one of the only like
Yeah.
actual physical, like, yes, people seek this, people want this, people are wrestling on these house shows in an attempt to build up a resume to be able to challenge Hina,
Hmm.
which is
So we'll keep that.
insane. So I think Hina should keep it. I think it's an interesting thing. It's something that the future belt has and that most of the other belts don't really have right now. So
Okay.
Hina being that wall, it works for me, so we should keep going.
All right. Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara take on Momokogo, Emma Mashima, and Kikyo Furusawa.
Oh boy,
I
I've never
think
seen
that's
a
a win for
team
the
want to lose so
established
much.
trio. I know that's a win for the established trio without
Yeah,
the geeks. So,
cosmic
um,
low tiers. Warning.
Hazuki and Koguma take on Natsuko Tora and Rocca. I thought BMI 2000 were being built up for a tag title match as of last weekend anyway, and I will continue that. They probably beat FWC and challenge later in the show
Yeah,
because
BMI
FWC
is
won't recycle and challenge again this quickly anyway. I don't think.
obviously, yeah. I think BMI is obviously winning, and that's okay. I think this match could be quite good.
Yeah, I think Kazuki has obviously been checked out, but I think obviously Tora was her initial retirement opponent, so she's probably respects her enough to try. Oh, he's gone. Okay, I was like, what happened? He heard about Hazuki retiring and dipped. But yeah, if you didn't know, like when Hazuki first retired, she wrestled Natsuko in her send off match and kind of pushed the mantle of Oedo Tai onto Tora at the time, and obviously Kagetsu then announced his retirement like the next day. So it was like all of the responsibilities of Oedo Tai fell to Natsuko Tora. But initially it was Hazuki retiring and kind of going, okay, you take the route now. So she does
Yeah, and I
respect
mean,
Tora enough to try.
there is it's an interesting. I mean, Hazuki and Natsuko is a very interesting relationship. Just historically. I mean, even if you remember the fan vote tag team thing they did that one year, uh Hazuki and Natsuko were so like stoked to get to team with each other again.
Mhm.
Like they like each other. They were friends, very close friends once upon a time. So yeah, I think this could be quite good. I think like the biggest problem with it is just that's what second match on the card, third match on the card. Yeah, third match on the card.
Yeah.
It'll probably be like 7 minutes, and three of them is Ruaka with the box. So it's like that's kind of the problem more so. They're going below Hanako and Risa Sarah.
I don't know if this is gonna stick. I don't know if
I
they
hope it
actually
doesn't.
post in order anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean like if it's a bit higher up on the card, um realistically it should be like under the tag title match or, I guess the Ami Sourei return. Like it should be a bit further down. And by a bit I just mean, go on later than Hanako Risa Sarah. Because then it can get a few minutes and hopefully it can be a good match. And, BMI can get a fitting win to kind of propel them to the titles.
All right. Speaking of special singles match, Hanako versus Risa Sarah. We said last week why this is a thing. Risa Sarah is retiring. She and Prominence helped to kind of promote Hanako before she joined Stardom. So this is just them getting to have a reunion. Risa Sarah is going to win. She is the Diana World Champion, I'm pretty sure now. So
Yep.
she is not losing to Hanako. And even still, it's Joshi. The veteran is always winning. So that's it. Risa Sarah is going to win. It's not going to be good. Risa Sarah
Yeah.
hasn't been good in a long time. She stopped trying, and I respect that. But
I need Hanako to get on the mic and say, I want this to be a hardcore match, and then them beat the fuck out of each other with
that would rock.
ladders and chairs and shit.
Yeah.
Thumbtacks, why not?
We have Amisore's return match after 11 months on the sidelines. Amisore, Saki Kashima, Lady C, and Rani Yagami take on Sai Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, Rina, and Konami. Um, I think you were right last week when you said they might want Ami to be a big challenge because she showed up at the weekend and like fended off Ueda or not Ueda Tai hate. She was like, "Hey, leave my girls alone. I am Ami sorry, leave them alone." So I wonder if maybe they're gonna do Ami winning here and being like, "Saya, I'm coming for your belt," and challenging.
I think that's the most likely thing to happen. Um, yeah, I think that's the only thing they really have.
Because I don't see why you do that angle unless you're gonna give her something.
Yeah, and I mean they like Ami clearly. Like they
Yeah,
like before she went out, she was installed as the uh
number two,
Cinderella runner up.
or that too.
Um yeah, she was put there by Bushiroad clearly because they like her, you know what I mean? Um and from there it could be a lot of. She didn't do much because she got hurt pretty soon after that, but she challenged Anna still. That was
Yeah,
after that, I think. So yeah,
yeah.
I
I think
like
they were in the process of
Ami's
like moving her up when
really
she got
really
hurt.
pushing her post Mirai, post Rossi. I think Ami was really on the come up. So I could see them just kind of picking up where they left off, giving her a Saya match.
All right, I agree.
Which, hey, it's better than
Um,
nothing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It might not
we have.
be, but it should be, hopefully.
Okay. We have a Goddess of Stardom Championship match. Hanan and Saida defend against Natsupoi and Soriano. I smell a title change. I think you
Yeah.
capitalize on the Ano Poi momentum after the anniversary show and you just run with it.
I mean, since they're not they're
And they're
they're
not
they're
doing
not
singles
challenging
stuff.
for the world
Yeah,
title,
like for some
so
reason they are
sure.
not targeting Saya Kamatani. But
Yep.
I think you can do enough with them. And I think BMI 2000 versus them is a very logical V1 as well to continue the Hate versus Cosmic Angel stuff anyway.
Mm.
So I do think Anno and Poi make a lot of sense there.
I
And you
also
could
think that
probably
frees
free up
up
Hanan for the white
Hanan.
belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she seems to be in line for the white belts.
Also
So
frees up Ida to be a challenger, like a fodder,
yeah,
to anybody ever.
or to
Please
win the New
let her do
Bloods
something.
again.
Yeah, that too.
You never know. But yeah,
Mm.
I think we're getting a title change here. I think Natsupoi and Anno would
Likewise,
make a lot of
likewise.
sense. All right, we have Neo Genesis versus Mi Vida Loca unit battle. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Mei Sarah, and Miyu Amasaki versus Suzu Suzuki, Rini Yamashita, Atsuki Aoki, and Akira Kuragane. I don't know if there's like rules to this. They haven't
I don't
explained
think
it.
there
I don't
are.
know if it's elimination.
I think
I
it's
don't.
just
It might
four
just
on
be one
four.
fall to a finish. Suzu should win. I think
Yeah.
Suzu winning and establishing her group would make the most sense. You can then have Suzu challenge Starlight Kid for a title match, and then you can go wherever you want from there. Um, but I do think Suzu and Mivita Loca should win here.
Yeah. I mean, Starlight Kid's already posturing for a Suzu match. Like she said, yeah, Neo Genesis has beef with Mi Vida Loca, but more so I have beef with Suzu Suzuki.
Yeah.
She said, take that shit off, bro. If you're not a gal no more, take off them goddamn eyelashes, huh? Get the fuck out of here. That's
Ooh,
actually what she said, word for
shit.
word. Um, maybe not with that accent, but maybe, who knows? Um,
Wow.
yeah, so I definitely can see a Suzu win. I mean, she could pin anybody except for
Yeah,
probably Azumi. Like I think Azumi wouldn't make sense for
you
her to
probably
pin.
have her pin May.
Sh-
That's the main
Yeah,
adversary.
but really, she could pin Kid, May, or Miyu to set up
Yeah,
Suzu Kid.
for sure.
Her pinning Azumi would be like, wait, but she has a belt, so why wouldn't? It's too
Yeah, I
easy.
don't think you do Azumi.
Um,
Azumi's beefing with Momo. I
yeah,
don't think
there's
you
no point in
pin
doing
her
that,
again.
but
But yeah, she also lost to Momo like a week ago, so you probably don't pin her again.
exactly.
So
So pretty much anybody, Suzu over anybody except for Azumi is gonna happen.
all right. We get on to the main event, the IWGP Women's Championship. Siri defends against Sari. Um, I think Sari wins. I, I I don't think her arc is done. I don't think she necessarily agrees to a Stardom run without an arc. She's very predictable. She wins her belt. She talks her shit. She beats some people up. She drops the belt. That's the Sari. That's how Sari operates. I think she's already postured for Kamatani stuff, and I think they would be silly to shy away from doing a IWGP versus like red belts promotion or the Sariism show
Mm.
where she's facing Saya, so she can be like, I have the IWGP belt, you have the red belt, my belt is the real belt. Let's decide who's the real champion in this tag match, that kind of stuff. So I think Sari's makes a lot more sense with the title, and I truly don't think they care that much about Siri. I think they see her as just the reliable veteran trainer.
Felt
And
like a
if
means to an
Mayu,
end champion.
yeah, if Mayu hadn't left, I don't think she'd have won it. Like, what
No,
what about series booking over the past year plus has indicated that they would have given her the IWGP? She was literally just doing nothing, and then went, "Oh yeah, I want Mayu's belt," and that was it. She won it. But like, she didn't do
yep.
anything else. So I really don't get the sense they like Suri all that much, but I do think they like Sari. I think Sari has enough friends in high places, i.e., Natsupoi, to definitely get herself
And
some nice
Inoki.
bookings here.
I
And
mean, he's
Inoki.
dead,
So
but well, the other
I
one
do.
isn't.
I think Sari's beats Yuri political wise, and I think
Yeah,
Stardom just cares a little bit more about Sari. So
yeah.
sorry to
Sari's
the
winning.
Suri fans.
Should be good. Should be good. But yeah,
Oh, it'd be great. Yeah, I
that
mean, they had a
fascinating
killer
that
match.
they're putting Saori in the main event of like one of their only pay-per-views at this point.
I mean, I think they know what she is.
Like think
She's
about
a
it, they
draw.
do not
She's a
do many pay-per-views anymore.
Oh, yeah, they've
Like
scaled that
they have
back.
like 6
I think they're
a
kind
year.
of trying to spread the love. I think they see Neo Genesis versus Mi Vida Loca as a big drawing match, and I think they see Siriano and Natsupoi challenging as a big match. So I think this main eventing is just kind of a maybe a respect to Siri for her veteran status, but yeah, I don't think it's all on Sari. I think it's mainly just this was how the card shook out, and Siri is the veteran.
A golden watch main event.
Yeah, yeah, maybe in Yoyogi.
Yeah, why not? I
Yeah.
think it should be great, obviously. I mean, their match earlier this year was great. It is currently my number 5 best match of the year. Uh,
Wow. I wonder
really
how
fucking
long they
good.
go, because obviously that went to a 30
Yeah.
TLD, didn't
This
it?
has the
And this
60.
has the 60. I could see them going a bit longer. I don't know if Taro will let them do that. He hasn't been too crazy about match times so far. He seems to be okay with like 15 to 18.
Mm.
But I'm sure if Suri and Sari were like, "Hey, we want to do a 40-minute epic," he'd be like, "Sure, I guess.
I
Just
mean, half of this card
don't go overtime."
should go like less than 10 minutes. It won't because
Should,
for
but yeah,
whatever reason, Waka versus Yuri is going to be 11
yeah,
and
we don't
the
have to watch that. That
Cosmic
doesn't count.
Three-Way is going to be
This
like
match is 0.
12.
We don't
You
watch
know,
match zeros.
the one match that I want to be longer, FWC versus BMI is going to be like 5. But like there's I think they could afford to go like 35 if they
Yeah,
want to.
for sure.
We'll see.
Um, that's that. Like I said, the conversion, I think it's very
They
straightforward
don't really
to
do
us.
this anymore. But who do you want to see come out and challenge Sairi? Like who what stardom match are you looking at for Sauri? What do you outside of Saya cuz
Uh,
whatever. Um
I
she's
mean,
busy
Natsupoi would be
hopefully.
cool, but I'm assuming they can't be champions. They won't double up. Maybe
I
an
could
Aya
see that.
rematch.
I could see Natsupoi coming out and challenging for that and losing.
Possible.
Since
Yeah.
she's a tag champion, she's already like she has her thing, you know.
Hmm.
She doesn't need to win.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
But
think Natsupoi's a good shout. I don't think it's gonna like I said, they don't really do like the show ends and somebody comes out to
yeah,
you know
it's not something
to
they
be
really try to
continued.
do
They don't really
anymore.
do that anymore. So,
It's also
except for
hard. I
Saori,
feel like there's
but
not a lot of people that I would look at Sari and go, "Oh, that's a title match." Like there's matches that I think would be fun, but maybe not as challengers. If you get me, like her versus now Ishikawa type, where she just kind of beats her up.
mm.
Like there's
Well, I mean,
more of those in the
I
roster.
feel like the obvious is Hazuki, but Hazuki is so
Yeah,
not
yeah.
consequential in this company anymore. So, like, I don't think they would run that. Maybe they could. Who knows? Maybe Koguma falls to BMI. Or maybe that BMI match has nothing to do with the tag titles. Hazuki just beats Ruaka and challenges Saori.
That would be
But
cool.
but also, we're thinking about all these things happening in one day. I don't think that happens.
No, definitely not. No.
Like like it's very possible that BMI beats FWC and then next weekend challenges
Hmm.
wing or challenges the champions for next month. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's more likely to happen, but we'll see.
All right. Well, that's Stardom. That's not the end of the show. I projected that we would finish up a little early, and I did
Yeah, we've
ask
gone like an
for
hour
yeah. So I did ask for
altogether.
questions. I said like specifically, I was like, look, not too many questions. This will be a fun little thing. Um,
I
all
haven't
right.
read any of these questions, so this is all off the cuff.
Yes. So the first one is, what are your thoughts on Mai Sakurai's development, and if you think she'll win the red belt in future? Um, so Mai Sakurai, obviously, I was a big defender of Mai Sakurai for a long time. I saw the vision of a
Mm,
great wrestler in there. I think she's benefited from the move to Marigold and a less athletic style. The Stardom House style was just a little bit too hard on her to keep up. But you could see at times when she was in there with Mirai that she could go with somebody who could work to her
mm,
pace. And obviously now in Marigold, where the wrestling is a lot more her pace, I think she just looks a lot better. But she always had that very natural intensity and that natural charisma and that projection to the audience that I think has just been emphasized by her being a big part of the company. So I do just think it was the house style change that helped her a lot to come out of her shell. But I don't know if she ever wins the red belt. I don't know. I don't like Rossi used to be very like conservative about who got that top belt, and I'm not sure
Mm.
he sees her as that. She's maybe somebody who wins the white and the tags a few times, and that's
Yeah.
it. But maybe not red belt.
I think the red belt would take another level for her,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like with Miku, I don't think it does. Like Miku is going to be Miku on her way to the red belt. With my Sakurai, not necessarily like a heel turn, but I think my Sakurai would have to elevate her game one more time to fit Rossi's expectation of a red belt champion, of a white and red belt champion. Uh, and that's not for me to say that she's bad. I think Mai Sakurai is absolutely phenomenal. I am so happy to have been wrong to have been proven wrong by Mai Sakurai. 'Cause she's great. Like the Julia match really did flip a switch, and she's been great pretty much ever since. Um, so yeah, I think her development is absurdly impressive. Very possible that that hot take, maybe this is a bit of a sensitive issue, that once you got Julia and Tam out of her way, like out of her brain,
Mhm.
um, I think she immediately like found herself. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I maybe that's just a coincidence, but I think there is a certain level of potentially like, oh well, Tam was kind of like trying to guide her Tam way, and Julia was trying to guide her Julia way, and then once they were both gone from my Sakurai's active wrestling life, she became great. Like I think maybe.
I don't know. I see a lot of both of them in her though, so
Oh yeah,
that's why I would
like
disagree.
foundationally, but I think that there was a certain ceiling that she hit until they were both away.
Mm.
And again, maybe it's just coincidental, maybe it's not, but I think that her growth has been incredible. I am super happy with what she's been doing. Um, Yeah, I think it would take a lot to be world champion,
Yeah.
whether it's her or the company changing in one way or another. But I I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, it would be years in the future, so that's why it's like, who's to say? But I'm not, like I think she's good enough to be a red belt champion, in my opinion. I just don't think she's the type, so to
Yeah.
speak.
No, I agree. Um, all right, this one's hard. Uh, rank your top 10 rookies from across the scene, looking at both
Ah,
current ability and potential. Ideally, less than 3 years experience or less than 200 matches. So, do you want to start with one and work it down?
I don't have a number. Well, okay, less than 3 years experience.
Yes. And
What
this is
day
going to be
is that?
difficult because we will 1000% forget some
2022.
people.
So
2022, yeah.
like,
But
I
it's
was
that
trying
or
to get
less than
like a
200 matches. So it's
yeah.
probably there is definitely going to be a few of them that would slip in anyway from the
Well, because I'm
indies
just
more
trying to get
so.
like a barometer because it's like Kazuna Tanaka doesn't feel like a rookie because I've been watching
She
her
probably
for two
counts.
and a half years,
Yeah,
but it hasn't been 3 years. You know what I mean?
definitely
So
has
it's like
less than
that's where
200 matches.
yeah, she has 160.
Yeah.
Kazuna's not my one. I think Yuzuki's
No.
obviously my one. Uh,
Whoa. Okay.
yeah, I think Yuzuki is my number one. Um,
My number one, I will
hmm,
just interrupt. My number one is Runa Okubo from Tokyo Joshi Pro. I see a future world champion in her if they ever push new people. Like I think Runa has just about everything you could ask for a future star. I think her wrestling is very, very strong too for somebody who's like a child. So I think if Runa sticks with it and becomes what she could become, I think she would be one of the best in the scene.
mm. I don't. I gave up on Joki Joshi,
I don't know. I
to
don't
be
know
very
if
honest.
she has. I don't know if she fits the actual um requirements now that I think about it, because she might be. Oh yeah, no, 2023. So yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. Um,
68 matches. Wow.
like I don't want to be. I'm very basic. Like I don't know. I think
You can pick
Aya
who you want.
Sakura's probably next. Like, you know what I mean? Like Aya, I think Aya is
Yeah.
like a real saving grace in Stardom sometimes with these house shows. Which I don't watch as many, but I do watch Aya whenever I can because she's very good. Um,
Mm,
and with that in mind, I'm also going to add Chi Chi because that's someone I'm going to forget
okay.
is
Right.
under like is only been around for like a year and a half, but she's great. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
So, my number two is Mifu Ashida. Another one that I saw instantly and just went, she gets it on a level that most people won't. I think she's a very, very good wrestler. I think she will suffer in Tokyo Joshi Pro a little bit from their slow building and their slow pushes, but I think you can just see it. You can see in Mifu Ashida. She is going to be something one way or another. So I would put her at number two. Your internet is shitting the bed.
Is it? Oh fuck.
Kind of.
Oh. Oh shit. Yeah, I opened a Google another Google Docs
It's
another Google
crazy.
Doc to try to write shit down. Now it's back down to 10, so we're good. Um, Mifu Ishida. Wait, did you not hear my Hikari Noah joke?
No,
Oh,
for the
I said
best.
I said this guy's a crazy big Tokidoshi Pro fan. I said on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you miss Hikari Noah? Um, yeah,
Okay, well, you
but
did your three, so I'll do my three.
well, I want to talk about Mifu Ishida for a second. Mifu
All right.
Ishida, I feel like would benefit from being pretty much anywhere else,
Oh
stylistically.
yeah, for sure.
Like not even like a oh fuck TGPW. Like I think Runa, like I agree, Runa's very good. I think Shino Suzuki, I always liked. I thought she was good. Um, like I think there are wrestlers that fit in Tokidoshi Pro and are going to get really good in Tokidoshi Pro. I don't think she does. Like I think she fits pretty much anywhere else better.
Mm,
Which
all
is
right,
why I'm hesitant. You know what I mean?
that's fair. My number three is Aya Sakura. I like Aya. I think she brings something to the table that not a lot of people do. Really understands the intense side of wrestling and makes. I think the way she can make almost everybody want to beat the shit out of her is impressive. Like you give her a rookie from Diana who is just used to fucking around in a train station, and by the end of the match, they're like, "I want to wring your neck." So I think between that and her rivalries with people like Chi Chi, I think she's gonna do big things in the ring.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's already on there. She's
Yeah,
already on there. Fuck you, internet. I saw you try to break for a second. Um, I like doing these in two outside of Yuzuki.
yeah,
So,
that's all right.
Sari and Senka are like we just talked about
Mm,
them. They're great. Um, I think Senka probably over Sari because like it's so hard to be so impressive and marvelous as a less than 1 year uh wrestler, and I think she is. I think that's like does that make sense? Because like it takes a while to kind of stand out and marvelous
yeah.
sometimes. Uh, I'm just gonna. It didn't work. Never mind. It don't matter. Um, and yeah, and then Sari is obviously she's a super rook. It
Yeah.
just kind of makes sense to me stylistically. That's my type of type of wrestler as well. So
Mhm. I gotcha. Um, Number four, I would put Chi-Chi, I think. Similar reasons to Aya. I think she has a great understanding of the physically intense side of wrestling. I think her in-ring stuff is very enjoyable to watch. And I think she has obviously presence and charisma, and the Barbie Girl theme song is really good. Like, it's iconic. Like I don't think there's many better than Chi Chi in terms of just pure IQ. So I think she would go number four. Then I would also put Senka. I think Senka is raw as hell. I think she had an iconic match with Azure Kong, which is not easy to do. And the fact that Azure Kong respected her enough to have that match says so much about what Senka is and how high her ceiling is. And yeah, I don't think there's many wrestlers who approach pro wrestling the way Senka does, and she's fascinating for it.
yeah, no, I would agree.
We're gonna leave
I
off
feel
so many great
I
wrestlers because
feel
there's
so
way more than 10.
like
This
I
is
feel
not
so
even
basic.
fair.
I feel so basic because I've been a lot more locked in on Marigold and Stardom this year than anywhere else. Um, like I would say Azusa next, probably.
Mm,
Um, just because. Like she's just very good. Um, and she already kind of like has like a certain like main event style, similar to Aya, I would say, where it's like she's able to kind of feels like
Hmm.
yeah, was-
Your internet is having a bad day again. I don't know if you can hear me anymore, but
I can hear you.
okay. Um, did you say anybody after Azusa?
No, I'm still thinking. You go.
All right. Okay. I think Sari comes in for me. I think this is
Mm,
number 6, is it? I
probably.
would put Sari. I think I was initially a bit of a non-believer in Sari, but it's hard not to see what she offers, and I think she grows a lot every day. Like she just keeps getting better and better, and she's so good at so many different things that you're just like, you should not be capable of doing this yet.
Mm.
And I think the more she wrestles and the more she learns, and the more different roles we see her in, the more we're going to really see what she can do. And I think her ceiling is so high that she you just can't leave her off this list.
I would agree. Obviously, I'm now looking down my list of wrestlers that I've been watching. Um, and I don't want to be too much of a Mari drone.
I don't know if you're just quiet or if you've gone. That's the worst part of
Oh,
you.
I think why like
No, your internet's definitely fucked. It doesn't like that you're typing and doing stuff. Yeah, he's coming back. Hello.
you're right. You're right. It doesn't like that I'm typing. Um, so I guess I was keeping it in my brain. Kazuna is next. Kazuna has a soft spot
Wow.
for me. Like I just think she's so great. I thought she was great in Wave. I think she's great now. Um, with that in mind, I don't know. I think as much as I love Hinoka, I think Saran being in Wave kind of puts Saran over for me.
Hmm.
So I
Interesting.
like just kind of looking at them like next to each other almost like in my head. I think I would put. I mean, I could put all three. It doesn't really matter because I do love all three of them.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I don't know. That would be what, 8, 9, 10? You'd be
no,
done?
no,
No?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kazuna has 7, and then Saran.
Ah,
I think always like
this is so painful. Why is your internet cutting out at the fun part? You probably can't even hear what I just said, but Dylan, fix your internet.
okay.
It's so bad.
Oh wait,
What?
it's down at 25 again. I was
Oh,
about to unplug it. Like my arm is reached out to
holy
unplug my
shit.
Wi-Fi, and then it went down to 12. So I'm hoping that it's just fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, Saran is my 7.
Okay.
You go. You
Um,
say some.
I would go with Honori Hana. I think
Does
she's
she
very
count
easy to forget. Yeah, of course. She's
under
done
200?
300
Okay,
matches.
yeah, yeah, no,
Or
yeah, she's
200,
on
yeah,
there.
sorry. She's so good. Like her match with Venny, I watched it the other day. It is so interesting. It is one of my favorite matches of the year. Just how she fought against this massive star. You know, Venny doesn't give anybody anything, and Hanori Hana refused to be eaten alive. The way she will headbutt the corner pad in fucking intensity, headbutting Venny's knee so she doesn't get out of a submission, crazy good stuff. I think Honori Hana is insane. And if she can get to anything close to her potential in the ring, I feel like she could be one of the best in seedling, like by far.
Uh, how they were-
No, your internet's gone again.
it don't like me talking.
No, it doesn't. I don't understand. It was
Miku
fine.
Kanai. I was trying to figure out if how long she was an actress, and how long she like what was going on there. But technically, Miku Kanai.
All right. Hmm.
Miku Kanai debuted in actress in October of 2022 as
Interesting.
Kanamic. But
Definitely sub 200.
but
Anyway.
true, yeah, she's at like 100 and something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
125. So yeah, Miku Kanai, she's just so great. She's great.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I think I would put Shino on here. I think Shino being second gen gives her a bit of a leg up on a lot of people. Like she's if she keeps on her current trajectory, I don't see how she isn't one of my favorite wrestlers.
Mhm.
Like she is very much in on the My Sakurai path of I think could have just end up being an insanely good United National Champion. And to know that already about a 16-year-old, like she's got so much room to grow and get even better. And so I think she definitely should be on here. I don't see a world where she wouldn't be. Are you there?
I
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. Every time I don't talk, it's fine, and then as soon as I
Yeah.
start talking, it's a problem. Because I've heard every single word you've said.
Oh,
Um,
so it's not my
like
internet. That's nice.
no, no, not at all.
Was it is 9 and 10 for both of us now?
Yeah, I
Or
have 9
8?
and 10.
8 apiece?
Um, you know, I'm gonna like this. She isn't the best. Like she isn't like there are better rooks than her, but I really like Yuri Hime and what she's
Wow.
been able to do with absolutely nothing. Because really, she has like, and I think compared to so many of the other Stardom rooks over the past year and a half, like I mean, really since Hanako, outside of Aya, and Yuzuki, obviously, I feel like she just like has a real like she wants to be good and she knows how to get better. And I feel like every time I watch her, I'm interested in like her progress.
Hmm. Okay. Um, I am stuck. Oh, you're still going. Or maybe you're not. I don't know. This is terrible audio, unfortunately. Are you still there? I don't think he's still there. I think I've lost him. Good. Um, I'm just gonna talk. Number 9 for me would probably be Miran. I will have to double check if she qualifies, but I think Miran is just an insanely good prospect. I think the stuff she can do in ring is beyond what anybody else can do. Like I just see her almost as a modern Toyota, where I think if she just fully went for it and unleashed what she can do, she would surpass everybody and shine with her athleticism. It does say she has 123 matches to date, so she does barely qualify. But for number 9, I would put Moran. I think she's just such a good athlete and will only get better in time. Um, and since Dylan's Wi-Fi is resetting, I'm gonna try and think of a number 10. There's so many that are gonna get left off, and I know there are so many really, really good ones that we're not gonna get to touch on. I mean, we barely talked about Gatomu, we barely talked about Tokujoshi. I haven't even like gotten into Kikyo or Emma Mishima. Um, I don't know, 10. I'm torn between Miya Yotsuba and somebody like Kikyo Furusawa. Because Kikyo really, really interests me, and I think she's got the kind of charisma and presentation to be a big star within Stardom. But then I think there's a lot of variables with Kikyo succeeding like that. And it's the same with Mia Yotsuba. I think she's fantastic and she's done really, really good stuff. Like the Rini Yamashita work last year was excellent. But then how far can she really go? And what kind of peak can she have in Choco Pro without being as zany as your Meisurugas or as charismatic as your Chies? So and that's not even getting to Maria Kuga, who is a big fan. I'm a big fan of because I like Maria Kuga and her kicking style. So 10, I will lean towards Mia Yotsuba, but just know it could have been Kikyo and it could have been Maria Kuga, and it probably could have been a few other people. But I just think when you're looking at my top 10 favorites or 10 that I see big futures in or the most potential, I would have to go with those. Resetting your as
Do I
oh
be here?
yes, you're here.
Lovely.
Wow, I did my 9 and
Um,
10, so, you could
oh, yeah, I did you hear my 9? My 9
uh,
was Yuria? Yeah, you heard my 9.
yeah.
My 10, it was gonna be Hinori Hana, but then I thought of a sneak. It's Chikagoto. It's obviously Chikagoto.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
because I was like, "Wait a minute, she's been wrestling for 2 years and 10 months, if you'll believe it." Um, but most of that was as a actress, so as a
okay.
performer. So, you know, iffy. But yeah,
Alright. We got through
Chica's
it.
my 10.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Our top 10s are so different.
yeah.
Um,
Saran is an interesting one where I was just like, I
I
like her, but
totally get Saran. She
like,
she rocks.
yeah, she rocks. But I was like, I haven't seen actually that much Saran this year. I wonder if she fits, but she does. She's great.
But I picked somebody who, impressed me last year, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, my 9 and 10, you missed it. I think I picked Moran and, Mia Yotsuba, so
Is Moran still wrestling?
yeah, she came back and got hurt again, so that's
Okay,
why she
'cause I was gonna
didn't
say,
go
I
on
feel
for
like I
so long.
haven't seen her. Like I've tried to seek her out, but I haven't seen her in so long.
Yeah, she had one match and got hurt.
Gotcha.
But yeah, her potential is sky high, and yeah, I was like I could literally pick 3 or 4 people for my number 10 because we're gonna leave off so many great wrestlers,
Yeah.
but has to be done. Now, next up, how would you manage the schedule post Sumo Hall for Marigold? Um,
In what way?
I
Oh, like post
like how
upcoming. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, like how would you make
I
it
was thinking
work?
Yogi for some reason.
Oh,
Um.
I would honestly, I would do a faction draft. I would be like, we're resetting, we're kicking off our next year worth of stories. We're gonna do a faction draft, and I would use that every year as my reset point. WWE used to do it, and I don't know why they don't anymore. It is the most easy thing in the world to use a draft to set up everything for your next year. So that's what I would do, and maybe do like a unit tournament, like maybe a trios league or a
They haven't done
trios
a
cup.
tag league. They haven't done a tag league yet. They
They
don't.
haven't.
I feel like. Well, go ahead. You can finish your.
I would run a unit-based thing so that you can
Mm.
be like, "Oh, does this work? Does this not work? Which combos are we gonna do?" I think you could maybe steal from Stardom a little bit, when they did that, like, rotating 3v3 thing, where you can
Mhm.
maybe you do a unit league where that's the rules, where you have to, like, use different combinations in every match or something, and it's just
I
that
did
will
like
give
that
you
in
time
Stardom
to
this year.
explore.
That was cool.
Yeah, I think that would give you time to explore all the new pairings, and you could tell all your stories then from there.
I think. I semi agree. I think that Sumo Hall will likely be the culmination of Marigold versus Marvelous.
Mhm.
Whether Takumi wins the title or not from Utami and drops it there, or what happens, I think that'll be kind of like the culmination. It might still, pop up every once in a while from there, but I think that'll be like the big, you know, selling point and ending thing. So I can see like a Marvelous or a Marigold, unit draft to kind of like set the next saga, so to speak. Um, so I could see a draft, but I would probably do. I'm assuming they're doing a pay-per-view in January or February again. Um,
Mhm.
like I think that's probably where we're gonna be. I think we're gonna be one in May, one I guess in October, and one in February probably something like that. So I could see a tag league probably in January. I think a January tag league would be cool to set up for a February. Well, actually, no. They probably do the same thing they did this year, and they do first stream again because
Mm,
you want to capitalize on the foreigner presence
yeah.
in wrestling. So I wish I wasn't saying this because every company does this, but I think we're looking at a December tag league. Um, Shocker, I know. Because I do think they're going to implement a tag league, and I think it works as like the other side of the year.
Mm,
I would kind of love it to be, in the spring since they don't do a single a single elimination tournament, but I think they're going to do Ryogoku, and that's the blow off of the Marvelous thing. Then it's going to be a lot of team stuff, like you said. It could be like a unit tournament type of thing. Do a draft, do a tag league, whatnot. And then first dream or whatever second dream will be in January, and then from there, I don't know. I'm not a booker. I'm not a promoter. Uh, there's a good reason for that.
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's interesting things to do. We just don't really know what they are yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like I think a tag league into a draft would work. I think
Mhm.
cementing kind of like pairs, and pairs that want to stay together and do get to stay together, and pairs that want to stay together but get broken up, or pairs that just don't work. Put Mirai Saku in tag league and they just crumble, and make that a reason why they aren't in the same faction. They don't work in the same faction. They're separate, and kind of break that up. Like I think tag league can lead into that. Um, so maybe what I would say is, because I am assuming they do a first stream again, beginning of January, second dream, you know what I mean? Because they do that, I imagine what will happen is they'll probably not do much between the 5 star and, or not the 5 star, between Ryogoku and the end of the year. They'll probably just kind of do the year end festivities as any company would, and then first stream,
Yeah, but it's how would
January.
you do it, not how they're gonna do it.
How would I do it? I would do it the way I'm saying it.
Okay.
Um, I would
Yeah,
say
that was the question, not how you think they're gonna
I'm a
do it.
dumb. I'm a dumb. I'm a
It's
dumb.
how would you
I
do it?
don't be listening. I don't be reading. I don't
I
be
know.
listening.
So
Um,
I've noticed.
yeah, but so I would say what they should do is Ryogoku's the end of the Marvelous feud.
Yeah.
From there, they kind of they can have a buffer zone. I mean, obviously they'll have tournament or matches and title matches. Cement probably Miko Aono. Give her a title defense at a Korakuen in November, December, and then she will have her first giant defense in January. Uh, and down the card, it's fine, whatever. And then post first stream, post the big January show, I would say they should do a tag league. Uh, and after the tag league, they should probably do a draft in like February, March. And then the draft is like setting themselves up. They get comfortable with it. May's the big month of the year. They do May. We're good. I'm assuming that's what they meant, and not like how would I book it? Because
I
outside
feel
of
like it
like
was vaguely
Mika
how do you
wins,
fill the time? How would you fill
yeah,
the time
I would
after
I would
Sumo Hall?
say
Not
after Sumo
book every
Hall,
step.
yeah, I
So,
say after Sumo Hall, they just kind of like they'll probably chill for a month,
yeah, but what would
because
you do? That was the question. You said
they
tag league.
probably should they probably should chill for a month. I don't think they should do tag league. Tag league should
Okay.
be
Alright.
in the spring. I've
Okay.
decided.
Well, I would do
Kete.
a faction draft. I would immediately faction draft,
Because
unit
they don't
tournament.
they don't need to fill that much time. Again, this is all assuming that they
Yeah, but you're
do.
making a lot of assumptions,
Yeah.
so I don't know about that because obviously Sumo Hall is a lot later this year, and so that doesn't give them much time to build to an Oat Award style show in January. Like, I don't know if it'll be January again. They might just do a Corkin. But no, I don't know. I think you're making a lot of assumptions.
I
So
am making a lot of assumptions, but I do think that they should do a big show, or at least I guess it would be a big Korakuen, um, in December. And I think I think Tag League should be at the beginning of the next year of 2026,
okay, all right,
and then do a faction draft if they want to do
okay,
factions. If you want to keep it going, push it down the hill. I don't care, but that's
all
the
right.
idea.
This one is specifically for me, and it's a mean one. Despite Chelsea's women's team always winning everything, why are you still mad all the time?
Good
It's very
question. Good
it is
question.
it is so frustrating. If you have never seen Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd on the right wing, you just won't understand. That woman chops and chops and chops the ball until the other team is back in defense. Also, they lost 8-2 on aggregate to Barcelona, okay? Barcelona are my ops. I hate Barcelona more than I hate Misa Matsui right now for bullying Megaton. It is painful watching your favorite team lose 4-1 twice in a row while being unbeaten domestically. It is the most frustrating thing ever because you cannot go, we're shit. It's literally just, no, they're just too much better than us. And that is very frustrating. So, yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult life winning everything. All right. Um, what are the other proper questions? They kind of got lost. Everybody was talking. Um,
As they do.
yeah, they do. But
Join the Discord, everybody.
yeah, just don't be talking. So this was a fun one. If you could send 2 wrestlers from Marigold to Stardom and 2 wrestlers from Stardom to Marigold, who would they be?
Hmm.
Um, I obviously had time to think about this. I'm sending Utami to Stardom. Very easy, big feud with Saya Kamatani to do. That could main
Are we doing
event a
permanently?
very big show. I assume so. I
Okay.
didn't ask. But I am sending Utami to do the Saya Kamatani feud, and in return, I'm getting Momo Watanabe because I
Mm.
think she would fit Marigold very well. You'd have a lot of fresh matches. She can play face, she can play heel. I think she fits the vibes pretty well. Maybe better than Utami. And so I would get Momo back, and that would be your top star switch. Then I would trade Kikyo Furusawa for Nagisa Tachibana. 2 wrestlers in the complete wrong companies. Kikyo is
I don't
good
think
at
Tachibana's in the wrong company, but I definitely think Kikyo fits more.
yeah,
I think
like
like go
Kikyo
on.
just fits Marigold, I think, a lot better and would be Darkness Revolution easily. And I think Nagisa Tachibana would be a very prized asset to Stardom. I think they would really like her and push her a lot harder than Marigold will. So I would switch those 2.
Kikyo was a great shout because
Yeah, she was
stylistically
fun.
it does just kind of make more sense. Um, I would send Koki to Stardom,
Good shout. She's very Stardom.
and I would send. Because I'm having a hard time with Marigold to Stardom because I'm trying to figure out like what loss kind of makes sense there. Um, because like the problem is, it's like if you look at like a Marigold wrestler who like deserves more, quote unquote, it's like they aren't gonna get more from Stardom. Like Misa is May Sarah,
Yeah.
and May Sarah is Misa. Realistically, like
Yeah.
if you trade them, they will have no difference except Misa will be the high
Well,
speed
you could get
champion
rid of
doing
somebody
less.
else and get a Superfly wrestler in return.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I would send Koki, and as much as I love her, Komomo. I think Komomo is a very
Yeah,
good, like
she would be good
she
for
has
Stardom.
a, yeah. I mean, obviously she trained there. Like that was
Yeah.
she she trained in the Stardom House style first. So I would say Koki and Komomo, and Momoaz, obviously.
Ooh. That
Give me
is,
Momo and
yeah,
Azumi.
that's pretty chill.
Maybe Momo and Ida is a better shout because I think
Ooh,
Azumi is,
Saida.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Azumi is kind of more ready to go to America,
Mhm.
and effectively the difference is not even differences her going to Stardom, or her going to AW, or her going to WWE. Um, but it wouldn't change the fact. You know what I mean? She's in
Yeah.
Marigold or she's in Stardom. She wants to go to America. Uh, so I would probably say Momo and Ida.
All right.
Okay,
If
one more break. I'll be right.
all right.
I am back, hopefully,
All
for
right.
the rest.
Yeah, I think we have one more question. There was 2
Okay,
questions, but I think one of them we already kind of addressed recently. It was about how we feel about Stardom post Tam and stuff, and I've
we
kind of
could
dove into that.
answer that.
No, I think we'd go too long. So there's a fun
I
one.
could keep it short. I can keep it short, but okay, go on.
Well, if you can keep it short, then okay.
Okay,
How do you feel about Stardom post Tam and post Mayu?
Post Tam and post Mayu. I think it's like interesting because I don't know how much Tam had an influence on Stardom in terms of like the individuals in it, and like the stories and booking and whatnot. But I do think that there is a massive lack of like character post Tam.
Mm,
Um, as much as I would laugh at the as much as I would laugh at like the lore threads and shit like that, I feel like at least at that point I kind of felt like every like people wanted stuff, if that makes sense, as characters like they had desire and forward moving passion towards something, and they want to be red belt champion, they want to be white belt champion, they want to be double champion, they want to beat Natsupoi, they want to do this, they want, and I feel like there is a noticeable lack of that post Tam Saya. And part of it is because it's been, 2 months, and it's like, we're kind of, in that buffer zone. Like I was talking about, Marigold will probably through at the end of the year. Um, but it feels a bit strange. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I want more people to want things. And without Tam, I feel like Tam was always trying to do something. Does that make sense? Uh,
yes.
and she was always, even when she was like in a down period, she was always like looking forward and would always project that, like, oh, this is what I want to do next, sort of thing. um and I think there's a bit of a lack of that. uh
Mm,
and yeah, I mean, like without Mayu, it's been rough, like house show wise. I think obviously there's a reason we kind of stopped watching house shows, and for me a big part of that was that it's like, well, one of the like most consistent house show wrestlers isn't there anymore. Um, so that just like, you know, is an obvious hole in the roster for me. Uh, but yeah, that's kind of my thinking. I think the character work is a bit more loose without Tam. And again, I don't know how much that was Tam and how much that was just like the time, if that makes sense.
all right, we're gonna speed run.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, no, I agree about Tam. I think without her twisting the ear of the people in charge to do stuff and there's stuff to kind of sprawl out from her, you're really seeing a noticeable lack of the storytelling that I think people were really into.
Because like Cosmic Angels is great, but they're not doing anything. Like
Yeah,
it feels very unpassionate. I keep using the word passion, but
you do.
like I mean it completely like unrelated to Nanai. It feels like there's so little like this is where we're going. Um,
Mm,
get on the Cosmic Angels fucking uh what was it? The rocket, the
yes.
spaceship. Get on the spaceship, we're going. Like it feels like there hasn't been that, not only in Cosmic Angels but in most of the company outside of Neo Genesis and Mi Vida Loca, but Mi Vida Loca is half a faction, so it doesn't really work. It's like I feel like there's less urgency, um, character wise. Like I feel like the characters feel a bit more docile. Go on.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but that's it. Without Tam to twist their ear, there's just not as much happening. All the Carrara stuff last year, it's kind of fizzled out without Tam.
It feels like we
And
stopped playing like speed chess and we started playing regular chess. And it's like
yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
not used to this. What are we doing? Can we you know where's Tam?
Yeah.
Get Tam and her timer. Her timer's better for this.
Give her the book. Give her the book. Um, the last question was, I feel like there's been a big influx of impressive rookies debuting. What would you attribute this to? And I think it's a multifaceted thing. I think you now have 4 full-time promotions paying people full-time to train and become wrestlers, which is more than there used to be. I mean, if
Who's the
Marvelous,
fourth? Oh, Marvelous, yeah.
yeah, no, not Marvelous.
Wait,
You have
who's the fourth?
Marigold, TJPW, Ice Ribbon, Stardom.
Oh yeah, Ice, I guess.
And
Oh, hi
like
Molly.
it used to be a case where if you were training, you'd be training with Marvelous and working on their dog charity thing and taking
And in their
shifts in the
bar.
karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Whereas with the 4 majors, you have 4 avenues to be a wrestler full time, and I think that
Yeah.
brings in more people and gives them more time to commit fully to wrestling. I also think it's just more popular now. There's more applicants for that are women. We're far enough away from the big attendance in the Nippon Budokan. We're far enough
Yeah.
away from the big historic crossover show. We're far enough away as well from the women's evolution in WWE, where now people are like, oh, I can make it
Mm.
to WWE and have a career here. That there's more applicants than ever.
Shouts
The
out
dump
Chi Chi.
show, the dump show probably helped with that as well. That's spiked, obviously. I think rookies across promotions has spiked since the Dump Matsumoto show, and more people wanting to become women's
I also,
wrestlers.
in part, this is a small thing, but if you notice some of the stories, um, like everybody who was around for like the 90s, even the Attitude Era, like you look at Chi Chi for example, you like it's all about them having kids. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like if you really think about it, like I will never be a wrestler, realistically. Still sometimes wish I could, but I just won't. But if I have a kid, there's a non-zero chance because I'm so fucking obsessed with wrestling that they will get into wrestling and maybe they'll become a wrestler. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like I think that time has passed to
Mm.
where like I believe Sanka said that her mom was a big Chigusa fan. And so she got into Chigusa. Chi Chi's parents were into WWE, so she got
Yeah.
into WWE. Just so many. I mean, Akira. Akira was a wrestling fan from birth because her dad was such a big fan, and
Mm.
he took her to wrestling shows when she was 2 years old, and a wrestler like stole her orange juice, and she became obsessed. Like, I think it's just kind of like the era. Like, I think it just kind of comes like that. In terms of like high quality rookies, I think that there's just a better understanding of what each company needs and how
Well, I was
to
gonna say, I think we're far enough away as well from the Julia Tam hair versus hair match, where I think new trainers or new trainees are not trying to emulate Io Shirai, who
Mhm.
is very difficult to emulate, and
And
they're now
you will
emulating.
break your arm in training and never
Yes,
get to
yeah.
the point where you're wrestling.
And now they're emulating Tam and Julia, who are much easier to emulate. You can slap the shit out of somebody like Tam Nakano. You
Mm.
can dump yourself on your head like Julia. You cannot do what the Shirai did. And I think one thing that I would credit Tam and Julia with is I do think they helped shape the current house style of Joshi to where it has become a lot more intense and physical and grounded. Because for a while there, everyone was trying to do their best Io Shirai
I will
impression.
say that is something I noticed watching some Kagetsu matches um recently was that like as great as he wasn't like beating the piss out of anybody. Like
Yeah.
that just wasn't what was happening
No.
in the late 2010s. And you almost forget that because it's become so ingrained in yeah, like you said, the style of the 2020s for Joshi. Um, and I guess it is, to some degree, it is easier to do that than it is to be Kagetsu or to be EO. To
Hmm.
be this like masterful, like ingenious, super athletic, super agile wrestler. It's a bit easier to be Julia, who isn't athletic. My
Yeah.
Sakurai, also not athletic. Tam, I
Yeah.
mean, she was athletic for what she was, but she wasn't like insanely athletic. She was a dancer and she was a really good dancer, but she wasn't like this ultra athletic person. So I definitely can see that too. Um, Also, it might just be that like, fresher minds, Mio Momono's doing the training
Yeah.
mostly over in Marvelous. So like nowadays you might want to attribute that, allow that to her. Mirai is immediately proving to be a great trainer of the young girls in
Mm.
Marigold. Um, Micah and Shuri, obviously, and Hazuki, previously. Like I just think that like for one, there's more to work with because there's just more wrestlers, more girls like trying to become wrestlers the past 2 years or so. Um, so there's more to work with there. But also I just think that it's like there are new trainers who are maybe a bit more, have a better eye for the modern trainee and what they need. Uh, and their influences are probably a bit easier to reach. So I think it's a
Yeah.
mix of all these things.
Yeah, no, it's never just one thing when it's an
Yeah.
entire scene. But yeah, that's all the questions. Thank
That
you
was a
to
fun
those who
question.
left them. It was.
Thank you.
They were all kind of fun. I like the
Yeah.
rookie one and the sumo hall one and
The
stuff.
Ricky one was fucking hard though.
Yeah. But that's our show. We will be back next week. We will review the conversion and whatever Marigold does, and then we will look ahead to all the action that comes after. Um, with that, it's time to close the show. So if you want
Hmm.
to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Shine forever, Stardom Quest, Gold Passion.
Ijo.